Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is a very dirty version of the next generation midsize Lexus off-roader. This is the 2024 Lexus GX 550 Overtrail. And yes, gone is the V8 under the hood. We'll talk about that more today, but in this video, I'm gonna see just how good it is out here at Barnwell Mountain to see if it's better than a bigger vehicle that shares a lot of mechanics in the Sequoia TRD Pro, see if it's worth shopping against something like a Ford Bronco, or even its own Toyota stablemate in the Toyota Land Cruiser. All of that to come. Stay tuned. Before I get too far into this one, I want to say a couple thank yous. First to Lexus. I have long wanted to test this one. Ever since they introduced it, it has been on my wish list. The looks of it, the capability of it, all of that absolutely is something I want to test out. Second thank you is to Barnwell Mountain, this beautiful off-road testing area. This is actually the second time in about 2 months that this exact one has been out here. Our friends over at Texas Truck Channel brought this vehicle out here to Toyota Jamboree. Go check out their content. But let's talk about what motivates this one and why you might want this over something from Toyota, from Ford, or elsewhere in the off-roading community. The GX nameplate has long held an off-road prowess. There's like a cult following over these, but gone is the V8. We get a twin-turbo 3.4 liter V6 under the hood. This is the same engine, essentially, that you would find in a Tundra, non-hybrid. So this is the iForce, not the iForce Max. It does make 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, and it is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. We do have locking front and center differentials, but it is full-time four-wheel drive. There is no two-wheel drive on this one. And so that does, again, lean into its off-road credentials. It's all-wheel drive all the time. So much like many other off-road vehicles that we've brought out here, the Ram TRX, things like that, full-time four-wheel drive. Coming to the side, I love the design of this thing. I do a full detailed dive on this vehicle, talking about interior, exterior, design, all of that, headlights, taillights, yada, yada, yada. But in this one, I really want to focus on what makes this good off-road. And we can talk about the fact that it's got 8.9 inches of ground clearance, a 26.0 degree approach angle, a 24-degree breakover, and a 22-degree departure angle. They claim 0 to 60 of 6.5 seconds. Not really going to test that out today. And as we come in here, we have 18-inch Overtrail specific dark gray metallic wheels wrapped in Toyo open country 33-inch tall all-terrain tires. These are 265/70 R18s. I love that they're no larger than 18s. I would have loved to see a 17. Really, I think the fad with going bigger on wheels is just kind of ridiculous. And while I do have a decent breakover angle, one of the things Toyota, Lexus really talk about with their off-road vehicles is this, the distance between that axle and that axle, 112.2 inches. They claim that's like perfect for off-roading. It's the exact same as the larger Lexus LX that I did bring out here. And yeah, I may have high centered somewhere around here. I've learned, I've done better. I now go down there. But anyway, yes, I brought out the bigger sibling riding on essentially the same platform as this. And spoiler alert, this one's better but stay tuned to the rest of the video to see exactly what that looks like. As we come around back to the back, you can see again all the LED lights. One of the big differentiating features of the back end. First, I'll go ahead and show you. This isn't different from the 460 it replaces. You can still open the window. That's very nice. But what is majorly different, besides the fact that there's no Lexus L on the back, is that we have a power lift gate instead of a swing gate. So again, talking about Bronco, Bronco has a swing gate where this has a traditional opening lift gate. Tons of space back here, like an embarrassing amount. You can see there is an optional third row, not on Overtrail models, because we want the off-road capability of this, not the extra seating in this. But you can see just how much articulation I've got here from the GX just in this precarious situation I am here. We've got a 4-link rear suspension and all the off-road goodies here, but that's enough talking about this one. Let's hop inside and see how it actually performs. Inside the GX 550, I do a full interior tour and all of that in my on-road video, but I want to go ahead and push this down and put it in 4-low. Putting it in 4-low automatically triggers all of my cameras. I love the cameras in Toyota, Lexus products. They make the most use out of this 14-inch screen, and I can even hit this button right here and get an invisible vehicle view. The camera system remembers what I drove over, so there is no actual camera right there, but because the computer system remembers what I drove over, it gives me a nice view. So I really like that a lot. Now, I was just out here like 2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks ago, in the Sequoia TRD Pro, which shares a platform with this, shares an engine with it, just sans the hybrid here. And I was utterly disappointed with that vehicle. And my expectation is very low bringing this GX 550 out, but I will say, being a mid-size versus a full-size, I've got a little bit higher expectations than it just being completely doo-doo butt cheeks, as my co-host over at the Premium channel would say. I will go ahead and pre-warn you that I have explored around here a little bit, and I know that we've got some pretty capable situation at our hands, at our disposal here. I would not attempt this, especially after the Sequoia, without these cameras, without having already gone down here with a spotter, and without already making sure this vehicle was capable of it. So all that level set. But just so you know, the Sequoia TRD Pro could not do what I'm about to do here. I am at Barnwell Mountain. I am on the Twister Trail, and I am dropping in. Now, I will say, 4 cameras, let's go back to my invisible vehicle. They flatten out everything. You cannot tell the rocks and all the things I'm about to drop down, but I do like my side views here. It gives me an idea when there's an obstacle in the way, not necessarily the terrain around me, so to speak. But dropping down, coming off that ledge. Again, the Sequoia TRD Pro was too wide to appropriately make it down into this little valley, I guess. Its width kind of compromised it versus this Lexus GX 550. The approach and breakover in that were not the problem, but it was simply the width and the breakover given the situation I had to approach it at. Granted, too, I had some volunteer spotters out here for that, but not my usual spotter in Eric. Level setting all of that, but Sequoia wishes it could get down here. And this is why I like mid-size vehicles so much, mid-size off-road vehicles. It couldn't make it down this. Sequoia was just too wide for this. And this is a fun, interesting area that I really like a lot. I like testing Twister. It gives a nice bit of continuity to my videos, and the fact that Sequoia could not even do it, it's utter disappointment. Now, as we approach, we've got a few options before us, and I'll switch to my front-facing camera so you can see. To the far left, we have what I normally do when I take a vehicle off-road here. And then to the right, I have got what I wish I could do with a vehicle out here. Only purpose-built rock crawlers can do that. And then to my far right, which you cannot see, is another entry point down into this low area. It's a very easy crawl out if I needed to and couldn't back up out of where I was. You can already see my tracks up this center section. Unfortunately, I did have to take this center section when we were spotting out and scoping out earlier. This rock that you can see very well exposed in front of us wasn't so much the problem as it was off to the left, that bigger rock and drop off up there. The breakover is just somewhat of a problem in these vehicles. Lexus, Toyota claim that this has the perfect 112.2 inch wheelbase for off-roading, but I can tell you I've taken this and I've taken the bigger LX out here, and the breakover has been the problem both times. So yes, I am not going up a normal testing route that I do, but this is my plan B when I do take vehicles off-road here to Twister. Can't see why it's plan B. I'm about to go through some leaves. But I really like my cameras. They can help me follow my tracks from earlier when I did have a spotter and make sure my wheels stay on solid ground versus finding a giant cliffside, which was right off to my right and a complete possibility. But the rest of this is our normal off-road tests here when taking Twister. You can see I'm coming up on a rock here. I have not aired down. I don't really have much in the way of needing to air down when I come out here, but you can see, put my tire up on there and clear it just fine. I could switch camera views and take a look back to see my back cameras. I do want to show you this little animation right here. I didn't do it, but it helps me see the back of the vehicle as well. So unfortunately, that didn't do it. That's a little bit of a disappointment, but it did do a fun, cool little animation. Now I got to get off of that and get back to the cameras that I want to see, and that is my front cameras. I'm about to hit another rock. You can see I'm twisting up a lot right now. I've got my GoPros set to horizon lock, so you can see just how much this vehicle is kind of pitching around me. And now we get out more into the open area. Whoa! You can't take this too fast, again, worried about breakover and stuff like that. But this is the area I call the washout. It's got all of the slow articulation that I like testing on so much. And again, going back to that Lexus LX that I was in, I've learned a lot since I came out here by myself in that LX, and have learned to take a little bit better line, a more consistent line all the way across. Again, going back to my time in that LX, the breakover was the problem. But I took a much higher, further north line, further to the right, if you're looking at my front camera right now, line when I was out here in that LX. I've learned, I've got a better route. But this right here tests all of my articulation, and 4 low with everything locked up. This thing really does just kind of walk over everything, which again brings me to the last time I had a Ford Bronco out here. The last Ford Bronco I had was the Raptor, and interestingly enough, they said as I film this, it is Thursday, since Sunday, they have had 8 inches of rain. And I'm surprised that this area that I am on right now is as dry as it is, because when we were in that Bronco with those massive 37-inch tall tires, it was just caking in the red dirt. And I'm just surprised how dry it is out here. I would say the Bronco that this most competes with, both in price and capability, would be the Wildtrak, which specs out as this one is built, whee, and as that one is built, just about $3 grand less than this Overtrail. So that really does beg the question, when it does nearly all the same stuff as a non-Raptor Bronco, would you rather have this with luxurious comfort? I've got heated and ventilated seats. I've got a nice quiet cabin compared to the Bronco with its removable top and doors. Or is all that Bronco stuff, removable top and doors, stuff that really matters to you as a off-road enthusiast? Or do you just want comfortability while doing it? I would say the camera system here in this Lexus is far better than what is in the Bronco. I don't know. This is a much more realistic vehicle to live with day in and day out. At $71,620 as this one is spec'd, it is nearly the top trim of GX 550. The only trim above this is the Overtrail Plus, and that gives you standard features like a memory seat, which you don't even get as an option here on the Overtrail, which if we were to buy one for my family with 5-foot Holly, I would absolutely do, but that is not even in the realm of possibilities with Ford Bronco. And yeah, at $76,000 for the Overtrail Plus, you're kind of getting out of Bronco money, but it does compete very well against the Land Cruiser from Toyota that is the same vehicle with a different powertrain, a turbo hybrid 4 powertrain. So really confusing where this fits in the off-road landscape. You can get a more expensive Toyota product that is built off the same platform with a different powertrain, or you could get this Lexus, or you can get a Ford Bronco. So lots of options out there, but yeah, weird pricing structure for sure. I will say I'm going too fast for the cameras to work. I don't get the cool camera angles in 4 high that I get in 4 low, but this is where we can talk about the suspension and how it smooths everything out. This is a very comfortable ride, on-road, off-road, whatever the case may be. I am currently in Eco, but let's switch over to Sport S to get a little bit better throttle response and just have a little bit more fun out here. This is not a Baja racer. This will not compete with the Bronco Raptor. By no means am I trying to compete with the Bronco Raptor. It's far cheaper and far less capable when it comes to the hardware on it. But this would compete very nicely against a Bronco Wildtrak. And the fact that I keep bringing a Ford product up against this off-road, comfortable, luxury Lexus should tell you something about pricing of vehicles here nowadays in 2024. You can see what I love so much about coming out to Barnwell Mountain, especially after a bunch of rain. We have got a lot of places to splash down. So if you like playing in the mud, you can come out here and play in the mud. If you want to jump, that's where we typically jump. You can jump, you can play in more mud. You can do some articulation, you can do some rock crawling. You can do all kinds of stuff in Barnwell Mountain. I absolutely love it. I will put a link to their website down below so you can come out here the next time you are out here. But oh yeah, let's get some speed. Oh yeah, okay, nice soft landing. And then we're gonna go through some sludge here. Oh my goodness. And automatic wipers keep my windshield clean. So yeah, this is a good, fun vehicle, just as comfortable as it was on-road. How much I loved it in my on-road test. You can see it's just as good and just as comfortable off-road. It actually kind of gives you a false sense of how fast you're going. I feel like I could go much faster in this off-road than maybe the suspension would want. This does not have Fox or King or any very strongly branded shocks when it comes to what's keeping this thing from bouncing all over the place. But it is a very good, very well damped suspension that is making this a very pleasurable drive through all kinds of terrain. Again, another reason why I like mid-sized vehicles. You can fit into tight places. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, back through. Love it. This is a good vehicle. So just as disappointed as I was in the Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro and its total lack of off-road ability. There was, yes, one obstacle on Twister that I could not take it down. Otherwise, this has been everything that I've wanted and expected of an off-road branded vehicle from Toyota. It does what I want it to and makes everything in between a comfortable ride. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, including Holly's thoughts and opinions on this, from us living with it, me putting Tucker's child safety seat in, yada, 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 more off-road tests of different off-road vehicles out here at Barnwell, hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time a new video from a new vehicle drops. You can find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, whoa, I am going to have just a little bit more fun out here with the Lexus GX 550 Overtrail. You can also go find our second channel and the coverage that will eventually be coming out there. GT Premium Reviews. Eric is out here with me and we're gonna have some fun of this. But until next time, gearheads, bye. Let's get some speed. Oh, yeah. Okay, nice soft landing. And then we're gonna go through some sludge here. Oh my goodness. And automatic wipers keep my windshield clean. So yeah, this is a good, fun vehicle, just as comfortable as it was on road. How much